All right, guys, this is Tactical Development. I'm Brad coming at you with a quick look at the Springfield Armory Echelon. So, I already recorded the video and it turned out to be 30 minutes, and I didn't think you wanted to hear me talk for 30 minutes. So, we're restarting. We're just gonna hit the bullet points, and then if you've got more in-depth questions you want to ask about certain things, we can make new videos, but drop those in the comments as we go along here. So first thing, the reason why I picked up the Echelon. So I picked it up, I paid for it. You're not gonna get thoughts because I got it for free or because it was loaned to me. I have no connections at all to Springfield. I don't know. Their designs in the past have typically turned me off from ever purchasing one. The XD and XM series stuff was very bulky, clunky, grip zony. I know that's an industry kind of joke, grip zone. Maybe we should do a throwback and put some lasered grip zones on here. Either way, let's get to the 4 reasons when I saw this, when I heard it was announced and checked it out. 4 reasons that I picked up this pistol. So first one is the slide cuts. We're gonna go ahead and show you that. So those slide cuts, they taper at the front and then they go down. I think they call it the backstop right there. And that works great for manipulating your pistol. Whichever way you're gonna do it, it just gives you you get the serrations, and then if all else fails, you've got that deeper backstop back there. And that's great. Same thing in the back here. You've got it, it's a little bit less tapered, but still a very great to be able to kind of pinch and rack. So that was number 1. I saw that, I liked that, the idea of that. I know other companies do that. I know Killer Innovations, they do that with their aftermarket slides. A lot of people think it's just aesthetic, they're just shaving weight, but there is an intention, there is form and function in that. So the other thing that I saw or I read about was their optic mounting platform. They're calling it their Viz. I don't remember what that stands for, but they do claim out of the box, without a slide plate, you can fit up to 30 optics that are currently on the market. So that's great. They use a little system of little nubs, little nubbins. See if we can get that to focus. Little nubbins there. They give you delta point, shield, and other little nubs that already come on it. And so that's great. Those nubs are what they're doing is they're taking some of the force, so all the force is not on the screw heads. Typically, screw heads do not do well with lateral force. So there we are. That hasn't been proven. I really, really hope that it holds up with the test of time, because that would be great if more manufacturers just move to that kind of system. Less plates, the better, as long as this is reliable. Boom, that was number 2. Number 3 was when I first saw this, I could tell from the serialized, recessed serialized spot on the pistol that it was most likely a fire control unit, which is what SIG calls their internal module fire control unit for their 365 and their P320. And sure enough, that's what it is. We can take a closer look at that and the similarities between 320 if you'd like. I did that already did that video. It took 30 minutes and it was kind of slow. So we'll make separate videos for all that kind of stuff if that's something you want to see. But rest assured, nothing is cross-compatible. Some of the stuff you can get roughly on, the mag will fit in, but it will not engage. This slide will go on a 320, but won't actually operate. So things like that. And the 4th one, so we talked about slide cuts, the Viz, and the COG, or Central Operating Group, that Springfield calls it. So the last thing that I want to talk about that really drew my attention, being that it's very similar to the SIG P365 as far as the COG fire control unit, and the lower being replaceable, and just some of the design things, like the takedown pin is nearly identical to 320. The FCU is so close that I'm not sure what happened there, if SIG lapsed on a patent or if it's not patent or if they bought it. But Springfield even says that there is proprietary patent pending, yada yada, in their cog. So we shall see about that. But what I also noticed is having that similar FCU style removable, the Echelon has a much lower bore axis or slide ride height compared to the other similar fire control unit, the 320. And so I just want to show that real quick. And it's common for other guns to run like that too. So Glock has a lower slide, a lot of other manufacturers do. And I don't know how to show that, but if you see right there where the beaver tails are, I did some measuring off camera actually in the other video, and the Echelon, your hand is 0.4 inches closer to the slide than on the 320. Not that one is better than the other, but just looking at physics and leverage, you would know that having that lower bore axis is advantageous. Again, not as advantageous as actually training and being familiar and getting good with your firearm. All these things are just little things on paper that move the needle, but real training and practice will actually do more improvement than little specs, little geometry tweaks and stuff like that. So those are the 4 things I noticed on this gun, and that's why I wanted to pick it up. I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future, if they make smaller grips, smaller slides, and all that, etc. You do see some injection tooling marks. It's hard to see with the glare, but it looks like back here they'll have a version with perhaps a safety, external safety right there. Similar to the 320, that you can kind of see some of the hidden lines on the injection mold. So yeah, that's kind of what we want to look at, guys. There are a lot of things that we could go into, but I was able to go shoot it, no issues. I think I had around 200 rounds through it, and I liked it. It's great. It's a full-size pistol for sure. It's not compact. It's not getting any slimmer. They have their Hellcat line for that. But just real quick, I did put an optic on here. I know many people are going to question. There's a SRO on here, and the light is the Streamlight VIR2, so it has an IR setting and an off. So I could turn it off and it'll never activate. I could turn it on, that's IR. I could turn it on and you could go constant and you can go momentary. Just one of their lights you don't see too much because of the IR. Not everyone's running IR. Either way, that's what I've got on here, in case you're gonna ask. I felt that the trigger was, for a striker fire trigger, it was great. I had no complaints on it. I think while sighting it in, I was just a little bit hesitant. Didn't want to squeeze the trigger and adjust my hand. And so finding that, I was just a little bit hesitant. Didn't want to squeeze the trigger and adjust my hand. And so finding that point where it breaks, it's almost like there's no telling it's going to break. And so I do like that, because that'll give you a better squeeze to where you're not anticipating that break. Those are my thoughts, guys, on the Echelon. I do not like the name. It sounds weird. I don't know why. It could be just me. So guys, go ahead and comment. Let us know what you want to see. If you want to see an in-depth on how the FCU compares to the P320, let's do it. Let's break it down. Do you want to see us take the trigger out and see if we can just throw a new trigger in there, something not as plastic? I think that was my one complaint, just the plastic trigger. Not that the trigger pull is horrible, but it is plastic to the feel. So squeezing plastic like that just makes me wonder, oh, okay, I'm not binding on anything and gonna bend the plastic. Not gonna be an issue. Actually, I do remember the other issue I was having And it could just be newer. So you hear that? That's the slide. That's the mag release. Whoa, let's go up into the frame. Come on, guys. Call me out. It is stuck right now. There you go. I pushed it from the other side. It is ambi, but it does have a little bit of stick. Something I'm sure a little bit of lube will just squeak it in there and can fix it up real good. So the only things I'm seeing, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Can't wait to go shoot more. I did get a lot of carbon on my lens, probably because it's literally over the edge. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for staying tuned. It's been a while since we put out a video. We've got our gun wall up. We're moved into our new shop. Our guns aren't really put up. I just kind of half-assed it for a second before pushing go. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna start making more content and we're gonna be getting some stuff to you. So drop a comment, let us know what you wanna see, and we will get back to you.